Welcome everybody to a special Mortal Kombat 1 video. Today, I'm going to be ranking the Mortal Kombat 1 character costumes on a tier list, and I'm not alone. I am joined by a special guest known as Shad from the Netherkast. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Shad. I'm from the Nethercast, and I do nothing.
And that's all you need to know? Okay, never mind. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm your general all-purpose alcoholic / story aficionado, and I've been playing these games for a really long time. How long? Well, you probably weren't even born yet. I was in the arcades in the 90s. I'm ancient, and my back hurts.
But anyways, yeah, so I got a tier list on my own, and then Shad has a tier list of his own. I'm going to be, controlling them here and there, and we're going to go back and forth and see how much we agree, see how much overlap there is, or if there's any overlap at all. I think he tweeted out a preview of his, thoughts on the character costumes, but I still don't really have a general sense of what he thinks. So this is kind of new for me. Let's go ahead and rank Scorpion.
The ninjas, Scorp, Sub, and Smoke, I generally like their costumes a lot. There's maybe two things I have an actual core issue with, and that's like, I don't dig the man buns, and I don't dig the fucking tattoos. I think like Reptile having a tattoo of a reptile on him is dumb. Scorpion having a tattoo of a scorpion on him is really dumb. But that aside, generally I'm okay. And I should say before we start this whole thing that like there's probably going to be better outfits and gear out there, so none of this stuff's a deal breaker for me. Yeah, generally I think Scorpion looks pretty good. I'm not a fan of the basic mask. I don't like the open hair, but there's something very simplistic about the overall design. It's much less busy than a lot of the past MK outfits have been lately with him, Sub, and Smoke. It's not a terrible look. It's alright. I'm still just kind of like reeling from the fact that it's Quietly Egg. I haven't played the story yet. We'll see what's going on with that. I mean, lose the tattoo, give him a better mask through gear, which I will. I got a pretty good outfit right there. And I actually should say, it's a real treat that the spear appears to be a rope again.
Yeah.
My God, how I have missed that for so long now.
That's one of the things that I pointed out when I saw the gameplay, or we first saw images of Scorpion's gameplay, or just the way Scorpion looks like. And I was like, the rope is back. The rope is back. Thank God. Yep. Because with all the gear that we had at MK11, you couldn't give Scorpion a rope. Like, what the hell? Like, and now we have rope as the default. Like, this is the spear that he has, and it feels really special to have that for me personally.
Half of this game's aesthetics are about coming home again for old school MK players like myself. The other half are someone's been smoking a lot of meth.
And we'll get to that for sure.
So I am gonna put Scorpion for now as an A. I like almost everything I'm seeing. I'm gonna have quibbles with everything, I know. On the Nethercast, our detractors call them nitpicks. You nitpick everything. Why can't you love everything?
Why do you hate everything, Shad? Why is it why do you go out of your way to hate things? Come on,
because
man.
Everything's terrible. I don't like anything. If it came out after 1997, it's garbage. Everyone should have the same basic normals all the time.
Yep.
Everyone should have 100% damage combos, always. Rah, 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 rah. Maximum damage. I mean, I live with those games, man, but I see the flaws too,
For me personally, I remember when Mortal Kombat 1 was announced, I remember I didn't recognize Scorpion and Sub-Zero. I didn't even know it was them at first, because they would look so different, and they look super simplistic and stuff. And so, when I see Scorpion, I usually see a cowl, or a hood. I usually see a white eyes. He's usually surrounded in a lot of hellfire. And he wasn't in the announcement trailer, and then I didn't really know how I felt about it. I thought they looked a little bit too generic, but the more time went on and the more I saw their costumes and actual, gameplay footage, I was like, I'm really happy that we're going back to the palette swap days. I'm really happy that we're getting simple ninja costumes.
It is nice to see, isn't it? Like I said, there's something very effective and streamlined about these in comparison to stuff from 9 through 11, and I'm really happy with it on the whole.
Yeah, for sure. So for me, at first it was just a C tier kind of. I didn't hate it, and I know that when I first saw it, I didn't hate it. I'll to put this in A. This is a good Scorpion costume. I'm sure that you're probably going to think the same for Sub-Zero, unless you want to elaborate a little further.
No, it's basically the same deal. Like we can go from him to Smoke. I have a little bit
Okay.
extra to say about
So
Smoke as I
both.
usually do.
Okay, so
Guy.
both at A tier.
Yeah,
Okay.
easily. Like,
All right.
I think Scorp and Sub, generally speaking, look pretty fucking good.
But anyways, you
Yeah.
wanted to go on to Smoke because I know you have a lot of things to say about Smoke because
Yeah,
Smoke's
I
your
always
guy.
do. Smoke is my guy. Smoke has been my favorite character
Mm-hmm.
in possibly all of fiction since
Wow.
since Mortal Kombat 2. I know that's a pretty high bar when you got stuff like the Lord of the Rings, Star Trek, and Star Wars floating around.
True.
Who's a deeper character? Who's got more of history? Darth Vader? Smoke. Smoke. What part of Lord of the Rings did you like? Smoke.
Smoke. What was your favorite Harry Potter book? Smoke.
Harry Potter and the Smoky of Smoke. And the Noob of Smoke and the tag team of Doom. There's been like a lot of discussion about like the hair. When Smoke first showed up in MK9, there was a variety of reactions to his brand new magical plumage. And they went from like, he looks like Christopher Walken on the select screen to he looks like an anime character to he looks really stupid to he looks really amazing. There was a little bit of everything. It took me a while to get used to it. So now the hair is all short and it's cropped, and it's also gonna take me a while to get used to it. I don't think I like it as much as I did the 9 locks. I got used to those pretty quickly, and yeah, I kind of dig them. But the thing is about his hair here is in isolation. If I saw someone with this haircut, they'd be at my doorstep trying to like give me a Jehovah's Witness Bible or something. It's just he's got the hair of like a 60-year-old preacher man or something, and I can't dig it.
The first thing I thought of was Anderson Cooper from CNN. So like, it's just
It's old white man haircut. I can't.
Yeah.
It works if it's long. Like Fujin's had white or grayish hair, and it's always long in a ponytail. Like I gotta wonder what they were thinking here, man. Although I will say for Temp's sake, because Temp is not a fan. Temp on the Netherkast is not a fan of like how kind of mono gray it is. It's like it's almost very much the same shade of gray everywhere. He thinks that the main V and the cloth should be a bit darker. And I can agree with that. Either the main V should be darker or everything else around it should be darker. There should be a bit of a better contrast. It's not terrible. I'm going to be hunting for an alternate skin, I think, for him.
For me, it's gonna be tough to get over the hair, and I know you have said like the mask doesn't matter, but for me, the anteater mask, the gas mask,
It's not a good mask.
It's not for me. It's
the same.
Go ahead.
I have the same problem with it. I have the same problem with it that I do with like Subs and Scorpions. It just sticks. His blends a bit better with the rest of it, but it's just like there's just something that's so egregious about it when everything else about the design is so slimlined and streamed down.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be looking for like a more sane alternative.
It's not like the worst thing in the world. It's not like I look at Smoke and I think that's a very hideous design or a hideous hairstyle. It's just something that I wish he had something different, and I think it would be a lot better if he did if he had something different. I really wonder how much of my opinions would change on Smoke's design if he had the MK9 hair. Keep the mask, keep the same shade of color, same shade of gray that Temp was talking about, or that Temp was complaining about. I really wonder how it would look if he just had the gray hair or had the gray long hair.
I think you could even just like give him a ponytail and back, and it would already look way better with what he's got going on right now.
Yeah, like the Shaolin Monks thing. Yeah.
Yeah. The Shaolin Monks thing, or like just like a standard like back ponytail, like
Yeah.
regular stuff. Doesn't even need to be braided or anything.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, and that's just like it's just in your face, and it's a big part of his costume. So, for me, I think it goes to C tier. It's not terrible. I don't hate it. I don't look at, for me, at least in my list, I don't hate it. It's not terrible. It's not like the worst thing in the world, but it's something that I wish I wish he looked better.
There's one other thing I got to talk about in terms of his design, and it's the knife. Now, like this is less about his costume and more about aesthetics, and it also kind of ties into gameplay a little bit because like I gotta say a little bit about that because
Sure.
while we're here, when Smoke first showed up in 9, and for the first time ever, like he had this entirely new moveset of his own. Like he'd had hints of it in Deception, like the Stinky Cloud and the stuff like that, but prior to that, he was basically just like a gray Scorpion clone with pop-ups, and he'd spent a longer time than anyone else on the roster just kind of ganking moves from the rest of the cast. So seeing him in 9 with this entire original set of moves, and having him play so well and so amazing, it was a dream come true. Now, I'm not going to get too far onto this because you can say this now because of a lot of the casts have like shuffled up special moves this time here and through, but I wanted to talk about the knife in terms of that because I don't think he needed it. Like, a lot of people out there fucking hated the fact that Rain had katars. I actually thought that if you're gonna give Rain a weapon, that was a pretty decent choice.
Yeah, it wasn't the worst thing. I don't think he needed it, but like I wasn't really super mad about it.
It was less egregious than like having the knife in Smoke's hands for all of his normal combos is gonna feel. Assuming he does have, say, for theory's sake, like a Cyber Ninja outfit, we're gonna have a robot running around with a knife.
Yeah, we are.
It's gonna be the fucking Pimpbot 2000 up in this bitch. Hanging with my bitches, cutting four with my blade. It's gonna be fucked up, is what it's gonna be. Like, I wish that they would reconsider the fact that they think that everyone needs to have a weapon all the goddamn time, because you really don't. You're already in a universe where half of these characters are living weapons with all these incredible, insane elemental powers, and they're descended from this realm of kung fu, and it doesn't always need to be like, fucking swordplay. That's the bit that I wanted to, get across. I wish they hadn't given him a damn knife.
If you were to ask me, if they didn't have a weapon, don't give it to him. But if you did, is it, end all be all? No. For me, Smoke, at least as far as the gameplay that I've seen, mostly reminds me of like Smoke. Now, not MK9 Smoke, but at least it's a Smoke that I can get behind. It's Smoke that I can like definitely say, okay, that looks like Smoke's gameplay. And the knife, I really wish it wasn't there, but I don't think it takes away, at least from in my view, the fact that he looks like very good in gameplay as, as a Smoke character. It's a really weird thought if he has a Cyber Smoke skin. It's a really weird thought of him running around with a knife. But am I going to say no to a Cyber Smoke skin? No, I'm not. And if it takes...
I'm not either, but it's just going to be fucking weird.
It's going to be weird. Yeah, it's going to be weird. And we'll get to Rain's case in a little bit. It's like seeing Rain in a classic costume with the staff is going to be weird. But am I going to say no to classic costumes? No. But it's just, I really wish that I didn't have to say that's weird when I'm looking at classic costumes because of other things that are going on. I shouldn't have to say that.
It's tough. Jeez. Like, I've always loved the guy so much that I want to say B, but realistically, yeah, it is a C.
All right, yeah.
There's a couple of factors about him that just take him down a couple of pegs for me below Scorpion sub. Oh god, let's just get Rain out of the way.
Rain,
let's
okay.
Just do it.
All right, so let's go with Rain.
Ninjas. Let's just do ninjas. This is a really good mage or wizard outfit. The thing is, I think I would like it a lot more if it was red and like maybe green in some spots, and it was on Ermac. That's my fucking problem with it. It's a nice design, but like, I can't say I care for the makeover that much, man. But we're just gonna talk like aesthetics and only aesthetics. Sure, it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
No comments on the gameplay. No comments on like why he's a wizard now. It's okay. Maybe a little bit. Maybe could have done with a little bit less yellow. I don't know.
Well, that was my thoughts. For me, I was like, you know what? I actually can dig this Rain design. If that's what they're going for, if they're going for like the wizard mage kind of character for Rain, this actually works pretty well. I just wish that yellow wasn't there. I wish it was just all purple. But it just looks like mustard yellow, and if it was maybe gold. Maybe
Exactly.
If it was gold, maybe I wouldn't care too much, but like that's just like mustard yellow, and I don't like, why is it there when that's not in any way Rain's colors? This is an okay design. I'll take it. It's not anything that I've seen. It's not something that I look at. I'm just like, oh, that's gross.
It's an okay design, but I just keep asking myself, why didn't you just like name a dude Hydro or something?
Mm-hmm.
So much about it is just so weird. Like, if I can say one thing about his gameplay, it's that like it's so bizarre to me that you take a guy who's got like basically 3 really renowned special moves, like his lightning bolts, his water control orb, and his roundhouse. You make him into wizard but you keep the ninja-esque roundhouse move. He's such a weird hodgepodge of like the scraps of an old character made into something else. I don't know. Just in terms of sheer design, I'm gonna give him a C. I've seen a lot better. I guess
Okay.
I've seen a lot worse.
Yeah, all right. Well, I guess that's like our first point of disagreement, I guess. I mean, it's basically the same. BC, you know, for me, I'm just a little bit more nicer. You're a little bit more harsher. Which, I mean, I don't, you know, obviously I don't mind. I don't hold that, you know, yeah, but.
He's some purple mage. I've seen more impressive mages, if I'm being honest. When Reptile is stationary, this is one of the coolest looking motherfuckers in the entire game. Snake tattoos or no snake tattoos, he looks good. There's something very, very awesome about him. Like, it's a big win for like that huge, strange part of the fan community who's wanted human Reptile for like so long. I'm happy for them. I'm glad that they finally got him, and he looks amazing. I could do without the tattoos, but like that's just about the only thing. They were smart enough to give him like a snaky cobra hood. The shades of green and the black, they mesh really well together. The belt's a good accessory. He seems like a really excellent design. I like it a lot.
I thought there was gonna be a butt in there. I was like, I'm waiting for the butt. I'm waiting for the.
Well, the butt depends on one thing, and only one thing. We have to talk about the dinosaur half.
I mean, it's part of the aesthetic, right? You know, like if we're talking about Smoke's knife, shouldn't we talk about the dinosaur?
See, that's the thing of it. Like,
all right, you don't want to talk about the dinosaur.
I want to be able to look at this guy and give him an S, because I feel like the human design deserves a fucking S, because I like it that much. But every time he just turns into a fucking dinosaur in the middle of a fight, I have a seizure.
The way I look at it is like, look, the main thing you're gonna be looking at, like who, like the main, like who's in cutscenes. I mean, you're gonna see the dinosaur in cutscenes and stuff, but you know, like who's mainly in cutscenes, who's speaking in the intros. It's going to be the human reptile. It's going to be this design that you like. Other than that, you're going to see the dinosaur pop out. And if the main thing I'm looking at is this, you know, is this human reptile look, I think for me, it still stays at an S. It's just, I guess there's an asterisk to it. And I don't know if there's an asterisk. It deserves an S. So, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go A. You know what? I don't know where you're going to place it, but for me, I'm going to go A because, look, I understand the whole point of view of, the best of two worlds. We have the reptilian reptile, and then we have the human reptile. And honestly, I think it can actually work if that was the approach that you were doing. It's just that not that reptilian design. I don't want that. I don't want a dinosaur. I want, like, you know, the way he looked like in MK9 or the way he looked like in MK4.
The best of both worlds, I'd say, is still the Shaolin Monk's design.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's the best reptile costume in my opinion. I absolutely love it.
I'm going to be very, very generous, and I'm going to put him I'm going to put him right up in S.
Okay. All right. You're gonna be nice. I won't be nice.
I'm going to be very nice. I don't want it said that the dudes from the Netherkast hate everything for everything's sake. You have no idea how much that fucking pisses me off. I really do. We fucking try, man. We fucking try.
Ermac is the next ninja. So we're going to the DLC character. So, fuck. That was one of the worst things I've ever seen. Like, now, I'm not gonna spoil anything because I know you haven't seen the story, but I can understand why he looks like this. But when I think of Ermac, you're supposed to put the best front forward. You're supposed to put something like Deception. You're supposed to put something like UMK3. MKX with a covered up mouth, because I actually do like the MKX look if he had a covered up mouth. And then you come out and you give us this thing that doesn't even look like Ermac. Like, if he didn't have green eyes, I wouldn't have thought that was Ermac. So to me, this is the worst costume in the game by far.
Effectively, this look is an aesthetic continuation of a design that's been going on ever since MKX, and it's just looked worse and worse and worse. They've just been slowly stripping off all the bandages, leaving us this desiccated, sickly, gross-looking mummy. And the thing about Ermac is, like you said, best foot forward. This is a character that came at us from a position of power from day one. From the first rumors, he was like stronger than Reptile. You know, all the bullshitty GM rumors. He had everyone's special moves. He could kick your ass. Like, you couldn't touch him, and you go into Ultimate MK3, and it's this character who's got these incredible telekinetic abilities who can just lift you up without touching you. He's a character you're supposed to be like, intimidated by. You take that into Deception, and in story, he's fighting off Jax and Kitana and Johnny Cage and like Kung Lao and fucking Sonya. He's taking on 5 of the best people in this entire universe alone. Ermac is supposed to be this incredible powerhouse of a character, and now he just looks like you need to feed him some Big Macs or something. He is struggling. And I hate it. God, I hate it so much. When I first saw it, I said it may be better if you put a mask on it, but no, the mask doesn't save it. There's too much gross, sickly, weak, craggly, wrinkly flesh showing.
Yeah.
Put it in the goddamned garbage. It's terrible.
It's
an F.
Yeah, putting an F on your list. I think what makes it even more worse is just knowing the history of Ermac, like you said, just knowing that he came from like, I think everybody would mostly agree that Deception Ermac is peak Ermac, both story and design wise. Now, I like Shaolin Monks better, but whatever, still, like Deception Ermac is peak Ermac. And then he is just devolved, like he just gets worse and worse and worse in every single appearance. MK9 was pretty okay. I liked his MK9 look. I mean, it's basically Deception, but with the colors inverted.
Nine I ran with. Nine was, the only real issue I ever had with Nine was just the tip of his nose poking out through the bandages, bobbling, and that like obsessive compulsive disorder where I'm like, you gotta just put the you need to fix it. Just fix it. Fuck. Christ. Fuck.
You'll find that a lot with a lot of Mortal Kombat designs, that like you're just like, dude, just take that off. Like just fix that. Like just erase it. Like that's how I felt about like MK11 Raiden with the amulet. I'm like, dude, take the amulet off. I don't want this. I don't want this gear. Like just can I please take it off? Like Jesus, why is it so hard?
Like, go back to Armageddon, where the amulet's supposed to be gone, but it's still on Quan Chi's fucking model. And I'm there in 2007, like, that's not right. Where is the amulet, anyways? Wait, they never told us where the fuck the amulet went. What the fuck? Ah, Christ! It's gonna bother me now.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna get as being a Mortal Kombat fan. And I'm tired, but whatever. I mean, like you've grown known to it without how many times you've been able to.
Please, God, NetherRealm, give us a Deception outfit. Please, God.
Just give us something. Just give us something good for Ermac, please. We're just we haven't gotten anything good.
You have to let mummy desiccated corpse Ermac die. It has to stop. Nobody likes it except whoever's making it. I know it's important to make things you're proud with and you're happy with too. But my God, man, enough is enough. It's been so long.
I know. Just give us mystical, like very mysterious ninja, maybe without a face, like a ninja that you look like that maybe doesn't have a face, that you think doesn't have one. Just give us that back, because that was one of the best things about Ermac in the old games. So just give us that back. So I'm gonna start with Raiden. So many people talk about like how he looks like too generic. He looks like an NPC. He doesn't look super good. He doesn't have the cowl, like I don't like the hair showing out. Knowing that this is not the same Raiden that we grew up knowing in either the original timeline or the MK9 or the NetherRealm timeline, the MK9 to MK11. I'm not judging it on like, what he looked like in the past. There is some, comparison that I make, yes. But for me, I'm like, this is a new character. This is a new Raiden. This is just a village farm guy who, just is a family man, community-oriented man. And I think they did do a pretty good job at making sure that he looks like Raiden, quote-unquote, but also somebody who's very simple. And also, I just like the simple stuff. And another thing you have to understand is that Raiden was one of the first characters that was revealed when MK1 was revealed. And so when I see a simple design like that coming off of what I knew from MK11 and all this over design injustice garbage, I'm happy to have something like this. I'm happy that this is a default. I'm happy this is a standard, at least for this character. I like it. I don't think it's the best, Raiden design. It's not like one of my top designs that I'm going to put out there when I think of Raiden. It's still going to be the old games. Still going to be something like MK Deception. Still going to be something like Deadly Alliance, MK2. I'm going to put it at B tier.
I'm going to be a little bit nicer, and I'm going to put him up in A.
Oh, okay.
Because streamlining and simple design and aesthetics go a long way for me. They truly do. You know what my favorite character in Street Fighter 4 was? It was Abel. It wasn't Jury. It was Abel. Because he was just this simple savate wrestler. And I'm like, this is a guy I can look at and I can squint and I can picture him like back in Street Fighter 2. Like it just fits. It just works. So I like the fact that like Raiden doesn't have like 15 tons of mountainous shit all over him as well. Like, it's great. It's a clean design, it's a good aesthetic. Like Razor has said pretty often, like, Richard Epcar Raiden was kind of a tiresome presence by now anyways, and as far as relaunching characters goes, I'm gonna have a lot to say as we get through this about bringing characters to life in different ways and making new versions of them. As much as I'm a huge fan of the original games, I am not demanding that we stay, like, married to those dudes that I grew up and loved in Trilogy and MK4 and stuff. I'm open to new stuff. It just gotta, like, be good.
It's just be good. Yeah, execute it well. Give a good reason as to why it's changed. Why do you feel the new approach is necessary? And if it works well, and if it turns out, yeah, you know what, that was a good idea, then am I gonna complain? No. Because I see good stuff in my game. I'm not gonna complain when I see something that is good.
I mean, you give me the choice between this and, like, obviously Christopher Lambert Raiden. I know what I'm going to pick. But this is a good reinvention.
Let's move on to Li Mei. Well, I guess it's pretty out there. There's a lot of opinions on Li Mei's outfit. I personally kind of like it. I don't really have a big issue of it. Is it as good as Deadly Alliance Li Mei? No. Is it as good as alternate Deadly Deception Li Mei? No. But it doesn't have to be for me. I think it does its job well at being true to Li Mei's character. I'm gonna give Li Mei an A.
It's a solid B for me. Honestly, I'm not sure if there is a consensus out there on what Li Mei's best classic era outfit is. Because, she had, like,
that's true.
2 of them. I've always been the kind of person who... I don't hate the 3D characters. Let's just get that out of the way. I like them, but I always felt that a lot of them were like maybe 75 to 80% of the way there. That's how I always felt about Li Mei. She's like a character with an incredible set of moves, a really good story, but like she started as kind of a knockoff Melina, and then she got like shunted into some like generic D&D armor. I was just never crazy about either design in the first place. This feels like kind of a bridge between those two things. You get a little bit of like the Deception silver and purple outfit going on with like the purple of the original Deadly Alliance outfit, and there's a little bit of loose flowing robes. It's not a bad outfit. It doesn't really stand out, but it's serviceable. I think it's okay.
Yeah.
This is where I have to start bringing up a point. And I'll focus on it here, and I'll just revisit it in a single word afterwards. And that point is as follows. Feet. Because we have to talk about it. We have to talk about this now, because it's a conversation that's going around everywhere.
The most important thing ever.
Like, okay, when it was just Katana and Melina, I was like, okay, cool, they're twins, it's a choice, I dig that. Then it was also Li Mei, and I'm like, alright, there's a lot of that going around, but whatever. And then it was also Sindel, and I'm like, okay, maybe we should put the brakes on a little bit. And it's also Baraka, and I'm like, this needs to stop right now. And then it's also Serena's cameo, and I'm like, there's an agenda going on. And then it's also General Shao, and I'm like, there's a fetish going on. And now Shang's got an outfit where it's happening, and Nitara has one. And I'm like, all hope is lost. The people at Capcom who designed Jury have infiltrated NRS, and they are now hard at work, pumping their sensors furiously as they design these characters. And then, horror of horrors, Reiko is now wearing open-toed footwear, and there is no loving God in the universe for us. It's all gone to shit. Sacrifice your loved ones to the devil and pray for an eternity of torment, because it's better than this foot-filled world we live in now. I need a drink.
I feel so responsible for this because I'm a juryman, so I feel like I'm the big part of the
You
problem.
you fucking Street Fighter fans, man. This is because of you. You fucking weirdos. Now, I don't judge people for their fetishes. There's worse things to have. People out there are in diapers. But it's just kind of getting a little bit obnoxious, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, a little
Anyway,
bit. Yeah, it's just
I just not everyone needed open-toed shoes, man. Not everyone. I think Lee May was one of those that could have done without.
yeah. I would agree. When I think of Lee May, I don't think of open-toed shoed girl. You know, I really don't. But at the same time, she did have sandals in Deadly Alliance, so
She did, but it was a more casual villager look, and
yeah.
here she's a girl on duty, and it's
That's
you
true.
know
She's a girl on duty, and girls on duty don't have their feet
open-toed high
exposed. But
heels,
whatever,
open-toed high.
man. Like,
If it was like casual like wrapped feet like a martial artist, sure maybe, but these are open-toed high-heeled shoes. What are you doing, man? I don't mind it so much if it's Catan and Melina because like they're royalty, and that's like kind of like a real royalty thing to wear, whether or not you're fighting or not. But with Lily May, it just kind of stands out.
yeah, it's a choice. You know, like you actively decided to have that happen. Anyways, move on to Baraka. This is an interesting one. For somebody who is not a typical Tarkatan, he sure does a good job at looking like a typical, not in an NPC kind of way, but like he still does a pretty good job at looking like how Baraka would look like, origin change or not. You know what? I think this one might be my S tier. I actually really like the way Baraka looks like in this game. I like his face. I like the way his, you know, like the spikes come out of his arms and stuff. I like the way it's on his chest. It's not too overdone. It's just a healthy amount, and it just looks like Baraka. You tell me, oh, Baraka is not a typical Tarkatan, you know, like he's somebody who's infected with like a disease or something like that. And I look at Baraka's design in MK1 and I'm just like, that looks like regular Baraka. This looks like something I can see out of MK2. So I'm gonna give this one an S. I really like Baraka's design in this game.
Now, as weird as it is, and has always been to me, consider the Tarkata thing a disease, not so much as a species, but maybe it's a disease that makes a species now. Who fucking knows? That aside, there's a lot to love about this. Like, once you get past the initial weirdness and get over your own familiarity and your own conceptions of what the character is and is supposed to be. Because it took me a couple of days. At first I saw this and I was like, I'm not really feeling it. But then I got back to it and I looked at it a little more. And you know, the fact that it is a disease taken into account, it works a lot more for me than it did in MK12. The fact that he's actually now got like all these bone fragments jutting out of his like flesh here and there. Because I'm used to it just being the wrist blades, right? Like that's the way it's been the wrist blades, maybe a couple on like his face here or there, but never more than that, you know?
Yeah.
And like it started to drive me nuts in like X when like he started having them poking out of his cheeks, and like I'm like it's just making him into like more and more of like, I don't know, Marrow from X-Men or something. Because I always looked at this guy as having a steel skeleton in the original games. Like if you look at the MK Gold model, there's like a metal spine running down the back if you can like, turn the model around and pause and see it. Like it was never like bone dipped in metal the way it is these days. Like his teeth, they were silver. Like there was like a fucking silver skeleton under that thing. Like,
yeah, it was like an endoskeleton. Yeah, it was like yeah.
That's how weird an alien that like Outworld was considered to be back in Tobias's vision. And now look at all those things in consideration. Looking at it now, I find myself enjoying it more and more. The fact that it is a disease, it makes sense for these bones to be popping out. And the proportions especially are something that I really enjoy, because we might have mentioned this on the Netherkast. Baraka was initially inspired by like a Nosferatu mask.
True.
That's what like the original helmet is. And there's something about him being a bit more gaunt and a bit more desiccated, because Baraka's been getting buffer and buffer and buffer ever since Deception.
Yeah.
He's been this big beefy boy, but like here they were like, let's scale that back, let's bring it back to the basics a little bit. And there's a lot to love about that. It's great.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that two things hold this back from being an S for me.
Okay.
It's, again, a totally unnecessary arm tattoo. Could have done without that. I don't know why that's there. I don't know why half the cast has them.
That's true. That's one of the themes about these designs with all the characters is that everybody has tattoos. I'm just like, why? What? Why does everybody have a tattoo?
Rusk, I tell you this now, because you played story mode and I haven't.
Yeah.
If I hear the word Arcana, you're going to hear the news of a murder spree in my hometown. That's all there is to it, okay? Anyway, yeah, tattoo and feet. Could do without the feet. So it's a really high A for me. Just under S.
I can respect it. I can understand. I can understand those two setbacks for you. Anyways, oh boy, this is a controversial one. This one's been this has got me in trouble. Tanya's design. Yeah, this one's gonna be a little.
I care about one thing and one thing only, really, when it comes to characters, because I have lived through some shit designs in the 3D era, the NRS era, and whether or not I think that this design is shit is kind of beside the point. The question that's been on a lot of people's minds is this Tanya? Who do you consider Tanya to be? To me, Tanya is one thing. She's a traitor.
Yeah.
That's the kind of behavior I expect to see out of her. And then I have expectations for her special moves, which are kind of 1/3 Street Fighters. Like, there's a bit of Cammy, there's a bit of Akuma, there's a bit of Chun-Li, old school style. MK4 Tanya is my Tanya. Razor brought up a good point about this outfit. It doesn't really feel like Tanya. What it feels like is that they watched Black Panther and they decided, we need to make our own version of the Dora Milaje, and we stuck Tanya in it. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
And I have a hard time disagreeing with it. If it was anyone else, if you told me it was a new character, I'd be like, looks pretty damn decent. It's a pretty blatantly shameless rip of a Marvel movie character. But I can't look at it and think, Tanya? I don't know. I'm so used to the weird cartoonish aspects, like the fucking raccoon mask and stuff. This is a very, very different departure.
Yeah, and I'm just not sure, if that really is something that I would want to see out of Tanya, but not out of Tanya, out of, any Mortal Kombat character. Do I really want them to be that different? I think one of the things that I've seen a lot from a lot of Mortal Kombat fans who like this design, and especially from, the black Mortal Kombat fans, they appreciate the fact that she looks a lot more Afrocentric this time around than she ever has. And yeah, I mean, I agree. And I think that could work. And I think if you wanted to do that with Tanya, I think that would be a good idea. And if you told me that was your goal, I'd be like, okay, go ahead. What are you show me what you can do. I just don't like the specific choices that they made, because there's a lot about Tanya that isn't just there. She doesn't have the white eyes, she doesn't have the domino mask, the straight hair, or the ponytail. Whatever it may be, a lot of Tanya's iconic traits, besides the fact that she's yellow, are just not there. And that's the biggest problem for me, is that if you made her a different color, that's just not even Tanya at all. The only recognizable part about Tanya in this design, in my view, is the fact that she is yellow, that she's wearing yellow. Other than that, I can't really find, a reason why this is a quote-unquote good Tanya design if somebody tells you that. Of course, if it works for you, it works for you, sure. If you like what you like, then go ahead, that's fine. But for me, I'm just I can't really find anything, I can't find anything about this design that just screams Tanya to me. So I don't know. I'm gonna get in trouble for this one, but I don't care. I'm gonna put this one at D. It just really doesn't work for me. If you made her wear maybe something classic, like her clothes, maybe she had an MK4 kind of look or an MK4 inspired look, and maybe it's a little bit better for me.
I feel like all you really would have needed is the fucking raccoon band, raccoon eye makeup.
That would have been it. Yeah, the raccoon eye makeup and the white eyes. Give her the white eyes. Heck, okay, it bumps it up a little bit better. I still don't like some of the other choices, but bumps it up. White eyes plus domino mask. Okay, now it's looking like Tanya. Or you give her clothes, maybe take away the domino mask and the white eyes. Give her the clothes that she's worn from Deadly Alliance, or not Deadly Alliance,
I don't know.
Deception. Okay.
Like, I
Go ahead.
understand why people are really happy with this, and they should be. It's important to have, like, good Afrocentric designs in your game. And let's just get this straightened out of the way right now. She looks a million fucking times better here than Tanya first looked in MKX with that first model that showed up.
Yeah, for sure.
That was some fucking dog shit, okay?
Yeah, that was
I
the
don't know
most
what-
terrible thing in the world. Like, that was like Ermac MK1 tier.
That was like someone put, like, a Pulp Fiction wig on Sylvester Stallone and, like, forced him to cross-dress like an Egyptian woman. That was bad. That was really bad.
It was terrible.
It's just, it's a hard thing to get used to when you've been with a character for like 20 years. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad outfit. It's just that I have a hard time looking at it and going, that's Tanya? So for me, it's like it's a C.
Okay.
It's just such a radical departure. It's a nice design, but I think that Razor is right that it feels more like a product of coming out of Black Panther.
It just, I don't know if it works for Tanya. I don't think that's the type of look that Tanya would wear. So, yeah, I mean, that's what I will say. If I want to say something nice about it, is that it's a good design, just not good for Tanya. If I'm gonna say anything nice about it, it is a nice look, just not for the Tanya character.
I could get used to this. It's good that we have these kind of designs that are actually, really, like, representing a culture.
Yeah, of course.
It's just going to be so hard to just look at that and think of the same character that I've known for 20 years,
Yeah, and that's just what, for me, it's just that's what makes it D tier. It's just that, like, I just can't grasp that this is Tanya. Like, this just doesn't look like the character. Like, she has a, iconic signature look, and it looks great. It's not like she looked bad in the previous game, well, except for, like, MKX story mode, Tanya. But, like, besides that one, she looked great in other games, and this one just doesn't do it for me. But at the same time, it's not a bad look. It's just not a Tanya look. But I'm running in circles here.
I think that the thing that contributes to this feeling so weird is, like, she was one of the characters that we got around the same time as, like, Rain and Smoke, but, like, in addition to her looking so different, now she's at a completely different set of a different weapon.
Yeah.
Fucking again for the third goddamn time, and we saw maybe like the cannon drill in there and maybe a fireball. I don't remember. Like, it felt like a brand new character wearing an old character's name, and as someone who was into Transformers for a long time and saw the Bayformer movies, I know how that feels. So yeah, it's we'll see. I don't know. It's definitely a C for me. Actually, from this point to further this point, I want to go into the next. Can I choose the next character, please?
Yeah, go ahead. Sure, 100%.
Because to elaborate on that point, let's talk about General Shao.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Do this.
All right. Let's go. Where are you placing him? What are your thoughts on General Shao?
You have to make a new tier for this.
Okay. Oh shit. All right.
Now, you want to name this not applicable.
Not applicable. Okay. I'm putting General Shao in NA tier.
Yeah.
How come?
And the reason for this is, as far as I'm concerned, this is not Shao Kahn.
True.
It isn't Shao Kahn in any way, shape, or form at all. I cannot compare this to past Shao Kahn outfits, because it's not Shao Kahn. It's General Shao. Even if I take into account the fact that it's a character occupying the same kind of narrative space Shao Kahn used to occupy, it's Shao Kahn.
Yeah.
It does not have Shao Kahn's moves. It does not have Shao Kahn's backstory. Dom Chinkolo said it himself. He is not like an ex-god of Outworld anymore. He's some mortal who's lived for a really long time. He doesn't act like Shao Kahn. He doesn't, like, have his special moves. There's nothing about this except for the fact that it's a large man swinging around a large weapon is Shao Kahn at all. And I just have no opinion on it. You might as well ask me what I think about someone in DNF Duel. I don't know the characters. I don't know who this is. And I don't really care much either.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, it just... Look, I'm not... When I think of General Shao, I'm not looking... I'm like you. I'm not looking to compare him to Shao Kahn, because this is not Shao Kahn. He doesn't play like Shao Kahn. He doesn't look like Shao Kahn. He doesn't act like Shao Kahn. This is not Shao Kahn. Just isolating that, just looking at the character for who he is, just without comparison, without knowing that he shares a similar name from a very iconic Mortal Kombat boss, it still doesn't work for me. Nothing appeals to me. I don't really find the appeal in big swinging axe guy with horns who looks like Mortal Kombat Armageddon Motaro, but not Motaro. You know what? I'm gonna add the same road to my list. I just don't want to think about this character. When I think about MK1, I don't really want to think of General Shao. Not because I hate it or anything. It's just I just have no thoughts. My head is just completely empty when it comes to General Shao. I just don't have any thoughts. I don't know. It works for some people. Some people like the fact that he looks like he plays like Ares from Injustice 1. And sure, if you're a fan of Ares and you're an Ares man and you like big brutes characters like that, go ahead, sure. Knock yourself out, dude. That's fine. Me, I was never an Ares player, never cared for Ares in Injustice 1. I don't care for this General Shao character in MK1.
Even if you're going to tell me that this is a character that's supposed to become Shao Kahn later on down the road, I say to you, no. He's going to become MK11's Shao Kahn later on down the road, which is already the dude that Dominic Giancolo said had a completely different backstory. Yeah. This is not Shao Kahn. That is not my Shao Kahn. This is fucking Steppenwolf from DC Comics.
Yep, that does Steppenwolf too. Yeah.
It is a completely different character, and one I just don't care about much one way or another.
Next is, okay, do we want to go to the real general, which is Reiko?
Yeah, you know what? Let's fucking do it.
All right. You go ahead, because I know you're a big Reiko fan, so I want to thank you.
Yeah, I am indeed. All right. So, you can slide him right up into A.
Okay.
Right up into A.
All right, we're going to A tier.
Again, two things hold him back. Feet. Because they had to fucking do it. They couldn't leave well enough alone.
He doesn't have his boots.
Doesn't have fucking boots. Does not have fucking boots. This is pure design. There's a lot of back and forth about what exactly his special moves entail, which may or may not be disappointing to some of you out there, but we'll leave that off the table. When I look at Reiko, I just feel a kind of a sense of relief that visually he's so close to the kind of guy that I remember, you know?
Yeah.
They could have fucked with him a lot, but they didn't. And, I think that they know we've wanted him for a really, really long time. So, visually, I'm pretty goddamn happy with him. I wouldn't have given him, the kind of, top knot thing he's got going on in the back of his head. Like the little rat tail. I don't know.
Was it an Armageddon? I thought it was just a 2021. If that was even sure. Reiko.
No, it wasn't. That was as much Reiko as General Shao was Shao Kahn.
True. Very, very much true.
Armor looks pretty damn decent. Not wild about the spear he's running around with during fights. Again, it's like smoke. I just don't think he needed it. And, we've always wanted that fucking Devastator sword bat that he was going to have in concept art. Before, they gave it to Fujin for some fuck-ass reason in Armageddon. But you know what? Only other thing that holds him back from being S is the fact that ludicrously, hilariously, that initial footage we saw out of that leaked conference where he comes up next to Motaro and he looked like he had no pupils.
Yeah.
He just had, straight white eyes.
I had hope.
We were so in love with it. We were so happy. It was like a vintage Mortal Kombat look. Like Liu Kang's got no pupils when he's in the tea house. And it just apparently turned out that they weren't done maybe working on him because now he's got pupils again.
Yeah, he's got pupils.
You were so fucking close, guys, but you keep doing it to yourselves.
It's
not like they don't know. There's a fucking elevator in NRS Studios that has a pupil-less scorpion on it. They know the way these people are supposed to look, and they just keep doing it.
I don't get it. I don't get it. The characters who are supposed to have no pupils have pupils. And then when they don't have pupils, it comes with a skin that looks like garbage. And now I'm like, well, what the fuck? Can I just get not pupils? Can I just get no pupils on these characters? I just...
You know what? That aside... that aside, it's a great look.
It is a great look. I will agree. It is an A tier look for me as well. What holds it back for me is the pupils. Other than that, I really, really like this look for Reiko. He looks like Reiko, and when I look at him, when I think of Reiko, I have a particular idea of what he looks like, and then I see MK1 Reiko, and I'm just like, yep, that's what he looks like. Just make sure that he doesn't have pupils. But you know what?
Yep.
Fuck. I guess that's what I have to. I have to live with that. I have to. Being a Mortal Kombat fan nowadays, I have to live with knowing that I have to compromise for something every single time, no matter what. But
I'm sorry,
whatever.
NRS. The pupilless look has been baked into the series for a really long time now.
Yeah.
The more realistic you get with the supernatural, the less interesting it always looks. The more weird it's got. You know, I sometimes wonder about this particular aspect. Do they remember how weird and supernatural these people are supposed to be? Because remember when we first saw Goro in cameo form? I'm like, you guys are doing motion capture for things that don't have human proportions. Think about that. Really think about that. Could you imagine if, like, Moloch came out looking like, I don't know, fucking Gary Busey's jawline and teeth or some shit?
But yeah, no.
How are we doing today, Moloch? We're doing good. Great. We're just gonna keep at it.
Garrus?
Garrus.
Not too much to say for me. I'm gonna put it at B, but it's definitely like an improvement over MK11. I really liked MK11 or Garrus though. I mean, I didn't have a really big problem. It was still like a pretty plain design, but I appreciate it. I appreciate that kind of look. This is the kind of goal that they're going for with Garrus. This very simplistic, shirtless man kind of look with maybe a few armor padding here and there, and I think it looks good.
I think it's a massive, massive improvement over the MK11 look, which I was not a fan of. Like, him and Chronica both, I was not big on, like, the whole fucking gold apple aesthetic shit going on. It could have been a lot better. And I think it is a lot better this time through. He was always a character that I really appreciated and enjoyed. Like, I like his role in it, but I always felt he deserved a much better costume. I used to picture this guy, like, you know, like, what's that DC character's name? The Time Trapper. Somewhere out on the edge of infinity on a lonely asteroid somewhere watching the universe and all on time and space and this tattered, ragged cloak that reveals almost nothing. Like, that's the kind of guy that this should look like, you know? And this isn't that, but it's a massive, massive step up for me from MK11. Timeless in a kind of a weird way, I want to say. It's less
I see what you did there.
It's less attached to anything in particular, you know?
That's true.
So
yeah. Gameplay aside, because he has like literally the hourglass stuff right there in your face. But I mean, still, the look is just, you know what? You can put him in any MK game, and I'd be okay with it.
So it's definitely a B for me. Not the greatest costume in the world, but a massive step up. There's
For
more
sure.
like a Roman centurion thing happening here. I'd say, if anything. Definitely looks much better without all that, like, glowing purple and orb crap going on around him.
Well, this is a character, I guess we'll go on to Havoc. This is a character that we have been dying to see. The community has been dying to see. And me personally, when I saw him, I wasn't really a big fan of the look. And I still am not. And it's unfortunate because I've waited for this character for a long, long time. I don't hate it, but because everything about his look is not really that bad. It's essentially the same as his look in Deception. It's just from the neck up, everything is just not to my liking.
Yeah, that's it. It's neck up. Like, I like a thing I actually like is like the dichotomy that it's not exclusive to him. Like Geras has this, where like there's more like stuff going on one side than the other, but it feels like it really works for Havoc because it's chaos. Nothing should make sense. Nothing should align, and yeah, it's pretty decent. And then you get up to the neck.
It's a whole different story, whole different kind of words now.
And rather than like having some skin missing to reveal the lower half of a skull, it just looks like he got hit by a rabbit ice cream scoop.
To me, it's just that the white eyes aren't there. As again, we're talking about white eyes and no pupils. Yep. The white eyes aren't there, and then the helmet is not there either.
The first time I saw this guy in a screenshot, If you just Google Havoc MK1, it's the second row of screenshots down. It's the one where he's in the middle doing a fatality where like the bones in his wrists are there. I thought this motherfucker was wearing a beret. No, it's a stupid flippy floppy fucking hairdo. But all is not lost. We're gonna have gear to remedy this kind of thing. I've already seen some pretty good stuff that comes out of story mode where there's like the top knot style from Deception. I don't know what's going on with it, but I've seen it. So, yeah, I'm gonna be nice, and I'm gonna put him in C.
Yeah,
C.
I put him in.
Very fair.
I put him at C too. Yeah, like I don't completely hate it. I just, oh man, you didn't hit the home run. It's okay. I'm glad he's in. I'm glad Havoc is in. At the end of the day,
I'm definitely be having a lot of fun with him. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
Like if Smoke doesn't work out, and I'm trying like hard to make Smoke work out, there's gonna be Havoc or Reiko.
Astra. A lot of people are very, very hard on Astra's look. Or Astra, I don't care. I say Astra because, I don't know, I like it. I don't know. I saw it, and yeah, I was like, you know what? Fuck, man, I want the hat. Like, why the fuck is the hat not there? But I like what she's wearing. I really like the angelic clothing style for her. And I don't mind the black, the black demon face, black eyes, and like the demon tattoo looking fucked up face. I don't mind it. Cause like to me, Astra and Deception, although I really, really like that costume and I want that as an alternate costume in this game, there was something about like her being a demon. There's something about her being a demon and looking angelic at the same time. And I don't think that design nails that point, that she's half demon. I think it just looks pure angel, 100%. And I think this is a good mix of the two, at least in my view. I think it's a good mix of the two. What's really missing is the hat. And theoretically, that would give it 2 points down, but because I'm really, really happy to see her, I'm gonna give her an A. I think my heart says B, but I'm gonna give her an A because I really am liking. I'm really liking her in this game. I like the middle ground of striking the demonic look about her character and the angelic look of her character. I like how it's in the middle for me.
Not for me actually. I initially liked it a whole lot, but Racer brought up a couple of salient points that, rather than Astra's original Deception look being kind of really grounded in an Eastern aesthetic. Now it just does kind of feel like it kind of comes from no place. It's like maybe if there were like, it's like it's maybe someone in a parade as like a group of fashionable angels out of like a Catholic church or something. I don't. it's kind of a design from nowhere. It's a decent looking design, but I do think that something was lost in the translation from Deception to this.
Yeah.
I do dig the whole angle that they're going for, because if you're going to apply Judeo-Christian aesthetics to one person whose entire like rise and fall storyline is something straight out of like Judeo-Christian biblical stuff, like like ascending from hell into heaven, that's very traditional like imagery there. It works to a degree, but I also have to put her as at a B. Something's missing.
Okay.
And it's not just the hat. I don't think I'm a fan of like the breast wings or whatever is going on with that, like
the angel wings on her tits.
The angel wing.
Yeah.
The angel wing tit vest thing she's got going on. I will be looking for another alternate. There's better, but there's also a lot worse out there. It's
you know what? A tier that she would have if she had the hat. I think I'm gonna put her at B tier as well. The face and the demonic face and the angelic look from her clothing being meshed together in one design just works for me. That's just what I liked about the character all the time. I've preached about like how Astra in a modern game should be something of a mix of a demon and an angel. Demon, angel, demon, angel. I've always said that every time I talked about Astra leading into MK1. To me, they really did feel like that was their approach. Angel and demon. Angel, demon. Works for me. But if it doesn't work for you, that's fine. That's okay. But to me, it just works.
It does to a degree. I just think that there's something really missing there.
I do like the plain and simple clothing, like the dress kind of look from Deception. I do like that. And again, if she had a Deception, classic outfit and a skin pack or whatever, that is my default costume. Like that's the costume that I'm going to be rocking the entire time. So, yeah, but I can understand what you're saying. Like I think what you're saying is not anything out of line. I can understand your approach to it for sure.
Actually, you know what? While we're here, shunt Rain down to a D. I don't have any Ds. I feel like I was there.
Well, we could get to D's, but
generic ass purple mage.
Yeah.
I should have at least one by now, and I'm looking at him like, yeah, you don't deserve to be on the same spot as Smoke, do you? All right. Next up,
Liu Kang.
Hot dang.
I prefer the MK11 Fire God look, but this is a good alternative Fire God look for me. I enjoy it. I'm going to put it at A tier for me. I don't have much to say because it's just like something we've seen before. And I also kind of like that shirt. I've always kind of wanted to see Liu Kang wearing that shirt in a Mortal Kombat game too. That traditional Chinese looking, traditional Chinese looking shirt. That's something that I wanted to see on Liu Kang, and I'm glad I got it.
Yeah, A's about right for me. I'm like, I generally do enjoy it. Awkwardness of like the strap across his torso. I'm not sure why that's actually there. Like, is it holding like a shoulder pauldron in place? I need to get a better look at him from the back. I don't know what purpose those things actually serve. Mm-hmm. It just kind of feels like they're there, and I think he'd be better off without that little accessory. That's the only thing, really. I generally do enjoy this outfit.
Sindel. You're more of a Sindel person, are you? Or are you not?
Sindel is a long and, as you can imagine, kind of painful history with me.
Okay.
For reasons.
So you can go ahead with you. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Sindel was one of my favorite characters until 11 pulled all that bullshit. This one, there's a lot to like here, and there's a few things, again, to not like. Obviously, feet. Cover this. I sense a theme running on. I do like how she actually does appear to be Asian now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it makes, like, the connection between her and Katana, familial-wise, feel more apparent. But, no, like, I think they got... I don't know who the motion capture actor that they got for her is, but she's a really, really good fit for the part. Like, this is what I'm talking about. You can take a character and change them and have it make sense, and it's good. And I think that, generally speaking, she looks pretty damn decent. I think I still like the MK11 outfit more than I do this one. Has kind of a, I don't know, almost weird spandexy too many belts look going around the midsection. But it's not terrible. The one thing I need to change, and you know it can be changed, because it's obviously gear, is that stupid metal like
crown
thing on
tiara. Yeah,
it needs to go. That's the other thing. Okay, it's this game. It's tattoos, it's open-toed shoes, it's fucking metal shit all over the character that doesn't have any reason to be there, and it's weapons that don't have a reason to be there. Like, someone needs to step the fuck off. Okay, just it doesn't have to be there for the sake of it being there. Calm your tits, please. God, I hate the gear system so much, but sometimes it's such a lifesaver because I'll be able to get rid of this thing. Not a look I'm super, super crazy about. I like the 11s more, but it's still pretty decent. It's a weird outfit, you know? It's not terrible, but it's not great either. Yeah, this is a C for me.
That's where I'm gonna land with Sindel as well. It's really did like her MK11 look a lot, and then I just feel like this is a step down. Like, I'm just looking at these weird random metal pieces on her, and then I'm seeing the tiara on her, and to me that stings. That stings for me. I'm just like, oh man, like, how can you downgrade? Like, you already know what it is that you have to do to make a good costume for this character. You just did it, and then you just don't do it.
She's a Star Sapphire is the thing of it now. That's what I think she looks like. She's like out of Green Lantern comics, and she just needs a ring or something.
Yeah, and I don't know if I like that look for her. I really don't.
I really don't.
Yeah, but again, I've seen worse, and it could have been worse, so I'll put it at C. So next up is Natara.
Oh God, Jesus Christ! Can I have a cigarette break?
Sure, go ahead.
Thank you. I'll be back in 5. I have some shit to talk about.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
You should leave this in. It'll be funny.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
You're right there.
All right.
All right, sorry about that. I'm back.
Oh, you're
now.
good. You fucking scared the shit out of me.
Sorry. Okay, so remember how I said that I don't think that the perfectly made costume exists?
Mm-hmm.
It's like that here, except that I don't consider any of Lee May's outfits vile. And here's the thing, like, I've never thought that either of Natara's original outfits was perfect. Her main was good, but I'm like, did we need to make her kind of a pirate? I don't know. I still don't know. I was less of a fan of Geisha Girl Goes to a Kiss concert outfit. I've always hated that thing. I cannot stand it.
I don't like it either. Yeah, it's not my thing.
So, when I say that I don't like MK1's Natara, that's not because I prefer an older version. I just think that this shit sucks, man. And to be clear, I loved everything else that we saw about Natara in that fucking trailer. Her gameplay looks fun as fuck. That fatality where she just boots the body down, like the skeleton just flies out of it and shatters on the ground. That's some good shit. That's easily the best shit she's ever had. It's good. I just wish she didn't look like gutter trash. Cause my god, I fucking hate everything about it. Almost everything. Where do I start? Okay, number 1, feet. Number 2.
Again, here we go. Of course, why did I see this one coming?
It's right there, man. It's right there. Half the fucking cast. Didn't need this to happen. It just 3 of them, 4 maybe okay, but there's just so fucking many. First off, again, I don't give a shit about Megan Fox, all right? I'm happy for her. She always deserved better than Michael Bay. It's not on a level of fucking DJ ability to freeze or like Ronda Rousey can't act for shit. At least Megan Fox can act. Number 2, the metal shit absolutely all over her to a ridiculous fucking degree where it's egregious, it's stupid. It's like, I've walked into goth shops, man. I'm an old school goth, and this is the kind of stuff you see sitting on a rack at clearance for $3.99 because no one's stupid enough to buy it, okay? It doesn't... What is that giant fucking thing over her midriff? The thing that, like, she's gonna cut her thighs on if she sits down with. Why is it there? It doesn't make sense. It's not necessary. Like, if you just removed all that metal shit, it would already look a ton better. The stupid metal hair bit. I would maybe leave the arm guards in, sure, like the bicep pauldrons. Those are okay. But there's just so much shit going on here, man. It's too busy. It's not good. I don't know who thought it was a good idea to have, like, basically just flesh-toned wings. But, like, Demon and Batwing Design 101, man, is, like, the bits between the webbing, like, the strands. All that should be much darker than the actual webbing itself. That's it, man. Like, this is a D for me.
Wow.
There's just, it's too busy. There's just... The wings look hideous. I'm not a fan of the hair. I don't really care much one way or another that she's, like, ginger now. But having black hair would help offset the rest of the red and the maroon around it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the black... Well, I mean, black just in general just complements the color red in general.
Like, it's such a fucking shame, dude. I want to like this character visually way more than I do, and I'm just holding out hope for some good fucking skins and some good wing gear. 'Cause this ain't it, man. This is not it.
You know, that's unfortunate because I'm the complete opposite. The only thing that really doesn't work for me is the Jimmy Neutron, or Kisses Candy hair. I really actually kind of dig it. For all the reasons that you hated the clothes that she's wearing, I like. Now, besides the thing that's in the middle of, like, like the middle of her, stomach or chest, whatever, like that. Okay, yeah, that's... If you sat down, that's gonna stab you. Like, what the hell is that? But other than that, I actually really like the way her colors are. But the wings, yeah, I don't like the flesh-colored wings. I have seen really good wing gear, so I could just change that. That's fine with me. I think I might be a little bit biased because I think Megan Fox is hot, and I really, really like Megan Fox, so... It's definitely a big boost knowing that Megan Fox is the face of this character. It works, just like everything that you said about why it doesn't work for you is why it works for me. It's weird how that works because our lists are super similar, And then like we have that one, you have that one design where we just can't agree on, but that's okay.
I guess I'm passionate about my vampire, my bats, and my goths. That's all there is to it.
Oh,
Like,
I can get that. I understand that.
I have seen like two varied opinions on Nitara. I think she's a real you either love it or hate it kind of deal. I've seen both.
All right, so let's get the speaking of female characters, let's get the. I think the only ones on the list left are Katana and Melina. So let's get those out of the way. So do you want to start with Katana or are you gonna start with Melina?
Yeah, Katana actually.
Okay. I don't have much to say. I know Razor said that this looks like AI art. I don't see it too much personally. I don't mind it. I actually like it a lot better than MK11. I wasn't a fan of like generic jumpsuit MK11 Katana. And this looks a lot better to me. It looks a lot more royal. And I don't know. It works for me. I put it at B tier. It's not the nothing is ever going to top MKX Katana for me. Nothing is ever going to top Shaolin Monk's Katana.
You know what? Like, as much as I'm an old school dyed in the wool fan of the old arcade games, and those looks, spandex and all are always going to be number one in my heart. I can't ever objectively say that Katana's MKX costume isn't the best one she ever had, because it absolutely is.
Yeah.
It is perfect.
Perfect. It is, and nothing's ever going to top it. So I'm comparing things to the moon here when it comes to things that are not MKX Katana. But I'll take it for what it is, and I appreciate it. I think they did a good job with this one this time around. I wasn't a fan of her in MK11, but this time they did a good job the first time around with her default, and yeah, I give it a B. I put it a B tier for me.
Yeah, you know what? B sounds about right. I
right.
suppose I can kind of see where Razor's coming from with the AI art critique. I don't want to say blandness, but there's like a very uniform quality to the entire thing. Like, it really pop. I don't know if the entirety of her legs needed to be blue. I think maybe adjusting that just a little bit here or there could not save it, but improve it a little bit. It's not bad. It's not great either, you know?
It's not the best thing in the world either. Like, you know, you can do something better. Like, there are better choices, better things that you could have done.
There's just something missing, and it should be said that she looks a million times better with the mask on than with it off, with this outfit on, actually.
Melina. This one doesn't work for me too much as Katana. It's not the worst thing I've seen. I could have seen better. I'm gonna put this one at C. I am not a fan of a lot of the metal stuff that's going on, like we were just talking about. The hairstyle is okay. I think it's a choice, but it's not a bad one. If they're going for, because this time around Melina is like the princess. Melina's the main girl this time around instead of Katana. And if this is the look they were going for to convey that, I think you did an okay job. You think you could have done something better, but I think you did an okay job. But I compared to other Melina costumes that she's had in her history, and I'm thinking of MKX Melina because I really like MKX Melina. I would rather take MKX Melina than this one.
Yeah, again, it's just a little bit too busy. It's not terrible. She's had worse, I guess.
Yeah.
Then again, she's had a lot better. Like, the thing that actually bothers me about this is like the knees. When I look at it in stills, I like it less.
Yeah, it's just not working for me.
Yeah, it's a C. I'll be nice. It's not terrible, but my God, could it ever be better?
Yeah, I want some more. I want to look at alternates. That's what I'll say. It's like I don't want this as my default Melina. Like I would want something different. Okay, so this render for Johnny Cage is not his default costume. It's the button-up shirt. So I don't know why this one is the render, but so like let's just pretend this one's the button-up shirt look from story mode. It's an okay costume. I mean, like it's a look. It does actually remind me a lot of Lyndon Ashby. I will say that.
They were 100% going for that.
Yeah, and I really like that. I don't know if I like the glasses choice. They're very small, and I like them. I like the Ray-Bans kind of look, and I don't like these small glasses. They look like those trucker glasses, and I don't really like them. But I do appreciate the Lyndon Ashby approach, so I'll put it at. What do I put this at? Because Lyndon Ashby 95 movie, anything that reminds me of the 95 movie is just, you won me over. But it's not like the best Johnny Cage look I've ever seen. But at the same time, it's a really good Johnny Cage look. I'll restrain myself. I'll put it at B.
I will join you there, and I feel pretty
right.
much the same way that you do.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be said for the simplicity, like the Ashby approach. I think I'm okay with the shades, actually. I think I like them more than I definitely like them more than you do, actually.
Yeah.
They are glasses that a douchebag from Hollywood would wear. I enjoy them for that. Some of us said that when this first came out, when we first saw him, it doesn't wow me, but yeah, I'm like, yeah, this is Johnny. This is good.
All right, Kenshi. Now this one, I really like this one. This one's an S. This one's an S tier to me.
Yep.
Put
it right up there.
All right, putting it for yours. Yeah, this one's badass Kenshi design. Like, it's just a perfect. They're continuing the streak of Kenshi not having bad costumes.
He's been getting kind of better and better as he went along, as he aged. He's an oddity. He just gets the best stuff, and he keeps on improving for the most part. There's something both familiar that feels brand new about this particular design. It's this perfect, like, techno samurai look almost. Cyberpunk Yakuza or some shit. It's good. It's just so slick. And while I'm sitting here and I'm talking about you can change a character and make them good, or you can change a character and make them and crappy. Like, if I can sidetrack into gameplay for a second, I think this is the best Kenshi's ever looked, and I think it's also the best he's ever played. I'm glad we're not doing any more teleflurry bullshit. He's actually going to take a lot of time and, like, patience to make him pay off and get those Zato Guilty Gear style combos going. He looks like a ton of fun to actually experience.
All right, so we're almost done because we got a few MK characters left, and then there's guest characters. I guess should we put the guest characters in NA because they just look like...
I don't know who these people are.
Yeah. For me, like, I'll put them in the same tier. Like of course, like, yeah, they look like themselves. So, like, I'll put it in NA. So,
I mean, the joke is I know who these characters are, but I just don't care.
Yeah, I know the joke. I understood the joke. Yeah. I don't know what your thoughts are on Kung Lao, and I think I actually like it. I like this Kung Lao. I think it's a lot better than his America look from MK11, and anything that's not that, I'm gonna put him at B tier.
I am tossing him right the fuck up into A tier.
Oh wow, really? Okay, cool.
Yep, he is the closest aesthetically that we've had to Old Man Kung Lao in MKX, who I always thought looked absolutely fucking amazing.
Yeah,
that was my
great look.
Favorite look for him by a mile, possibly throughout the entire history of the series. Like, it's understated, it's elegant, and it really feels like they took the perception of that into account when going back to this guy. We don't have anything that looks remotely like MK11 Kung Lao. I don't know whose idea that was, but I'm glad it appears to have been flushed down the toilet.
Yes,
it was horrible. It was so horrible. So we got like a Kung Lao that, like Old Man Lao in X, has like that simple look going on. The red sash really works. The brown shoulder pads are a nice solid choice. Finally, some good fucking Lao. I want to go to Takeda because I want to end this on a positive note.
Okay. All right, let's go to Takeda.
Holy fuck, do I hate Takeda. And I'm not just saying this now. I have always disliked this character passionately.
Really? Wow.
I don't like him. I never have. I feel like there's a thing that happened in MKX with a lot of the new characters. With Kotal Khan, with Kung Jin, and with Takeda. And that is, let's throw a bunch of shit at them and see what works. And that each character has like 3 fucking weapons.
That's true. Takeda has the whips, and then he has lightsabers, and then I think there was a third one. I forgot what it was.
And I just, like, it was like laser kunais or some shit.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
And I'm like, fucking pick one. Fucking pick one. You have too much shit, and it's all ugly, and you look like a reject from a canceled Metal Gear game. Go fuck yourself. I can't stand you. You have no personality. Jackie is more interesting than you. You are literally just there to be the Raphael. You do not get by on having, like, Kenshi as your dad and Scorpion as your teacher. You are not an interesting character on your own. I don't like you. Omega Red could kick your ass in a fight. Go away.
So does this mean F?
I literally prefer Ferritor to this character.
Jesus Christ, that is a hot take.
And now, he looks like a NASCAR driver on his way to a fucking Ghost concert. F.
Wow. Goes in F tier. That's surprising. Now, I will say, I actually do like the character, but I don't like this look, so it's not like I'm going to disagree with you here.
He needs trimming the fuck down is what he needs. He needs a more focused approach, a better aesthetic, less lasers and whips and... Ugh, I just can't stand it, man. He's like everything I don't like about the Special Forces rolled into one.
2099 Takeda, no, that's just not the Takeda look that I like.
It's like a shitty Immortan Joe. Mediocre!
For me, I'm not going to go as hard as you. So you put him at F, I put him at C. Actually, you know what? I don't think he deserves to be on the same tier as Havoc, so I'm going to put him at D. So, yeah.
See? You always got to look at who they're next to.
You don't deserve to be next to Havoc, okay? Havoc has a lot going for him. There isn't a lot going for you, so you're going down a tier. All right. Deadly Alliance time.
It is.
You want to go...
What do we start with? You
want to start with you, Quan Chi?
You know what? Actually... Oh, my God.
I'm sorry.
No, let's take Razor first.
All right, let's do Razor. All right.
Because I'm kind of still trying to formulate an opinion as I go. It is always going to be weird and upsetting to me that we have a Shang Tsung that does not have a goatee or facial hair of any kind, really.
Yeah.
I know that there's some stuff going on in the game where he switches back and forth between his old man and his young form. I'd say that's a mistake. Clean-shaven Shang is always a mistake. That's, I think, my biggest knock against it, and again, it's another case of, do you really need to have a weapon on this character? I don't think you do. But
yeah.
that aside, this and the MK11 look have another thing in common, is that they're trying to, like, kind of refine the MK3 spandex wrestler outfit into something that looks a bit more coherent. MK2 Shang was always my favorite of the arcades. I was never crazy about the MK3 look. So I really appreciate the attempts here to just take that 3 look and make it into something coherent. And for what it's worth, I think that they mostly succeed. It's just, I wouldn't give him, like, you know, Gear Claw, and I would definitely give him a fucking goatee back, man.
I'm just like, why is it so hard to give young Shang a goatee? Like, why do you refuse to do it? I've already accepted the fact that I'm never gonna get the goatee or facial hair, except when we're talking about old Shang Tsung. And I would ditch the Wolverine claw. I don't know why it's there. I just don't know why he has it. I don't think he needs it.
It's like vials of poison in there.
That aside, I think it does a really good job in the same goal that they were going for, like you said, with MK11. I think they were going for trying to modernize the MK3 look, and I really appreciate that, because, again, like you said, to me as well, MK3 look didn't really work for me. The ones that my favorite Shang designs are MK1, 2, and Deadly Alliance. I think it's a B. I don't think it's the best Shang Tsung design. But it's also not something that I hate. Like, I look at that, I'm like, yeah, that looks like a Shang Tsung design that I can get behind. I'll take it. So for me, it's a B tier.
Yep, B is right about where it is for me too. Obligatory note: I have seen costumes out there, and there are feet, and I need to hit people with a ruler on the knuckles. So let's actually talk about Quan.
All right. So this is literally you. So you can go ahead and take this one as well.
Oh, fuck you. All right. The joke is, for those who don't know, that myself and Razor are the lore guys on the Netherkast podcast, and because Razor looks like Shang Tsung, he's got, like, the goatee and the hair, and I have short hair, and I'm also the other lore guy, and I'm almost buzzed up there, and I'm a goth. Logically, that makes me into Quan Chi. Discomforting similarities between the two of us. Initially, when we first saw this guy in the trailer for the DLC guys, I was not that crazy about it. The spikes he has that kind of slant up and back towards his head, those to me feel like they're similar to Natara's gear in that, like, you're gonna hurt yourself if you bend your fucking neck the wrong way. That's a stupid aesthetic choice. But that's my only real actual complaint about it. It's nothing legendary, it's nothing really particularly new. It just kind of feels like another take on MKX. There's a detail about it that I really enjoyed once I saw some screenshots. There's a lot of, like, teal blue color going on underneath all like the belts and the spiky shit. And it's nice to see that because it's a callback to his MK4 outfit, which is still in my mind the definitive look. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give this one a B as well.
It doesn't work for me, but it's not terrible. I've just seen better. I really like the MKX look for him. I like the MK4 look for him. I like the Deadly Alliance look for him. I'm not sure if I'm really a big fan of him wearing like a full-on shirt. Like it's not actual shirt, but it's, you know, he's covering himself up entirely. I do like the spikes on his shoulders. I know they're pointed in the wrong way, but anything that reminds me of MK4, MKX, I'll take. You know, that's good for me.
Yeah, this feels like some sort of halfway position between like an old school 4 design and something modern like his 9 design, you know?
Yeah.
And there's a bit more color actually going on in the scheme than usual, so...
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it that. The blue definitely helps, so that's what makes it a C tier for me. It just, I don't know, I've seen better. I've seen better with, you know...
That's totally fair.
Yeah, I've seen better, and I wish he'd... I want to see some alternates. But I wouldn't hate this being a, you know, a default for him. Like if this is what I have to deal with being a default, sure, you know, as long as it's not, you know, anything super bad, which I haven't seen anything super bad from Quan Chi yet. Oh, actually, yes, I have. I'm not gonna spoil it, but that's not what I'm gonna be looking at in the main. Yeah, I'm not gonna be looking at the main select screen. So if this is what I'm gonna have to look at, sure, I'll take it. But
you know what? While I'm here, now that we're looking over our final placements, yeah, bump Katana down to a C.
Damn.
For me.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
You know what? Like looking at her again next to the people that she's with, I'm like, I can't justify it.
Looks like our both of our lists are pretty similar. Some few notable exceptions where we disagree with a lot, but I think overall, I think we can get on the same page.
I would say that this is in a running with MKX to have some of the best costumes we've seen since the NRS period of the franchise. See, 9 was like a 50-50 thing for me where I thought half of them were amazing and half of them were crap. X was a realm of mostly really good outfits. Mostly really good.
There are more character costumes in here that I would have liked to have not been in the, you know, what the fuck are you thinking tier? But it is a vast improvement over, at least for me, in my opinion, over 11's aesthetics. I for the most part, like maybe like 60% of the costumes I really didn't like in 11. And then here I'm like, okay, 60% of the costumes I do like in MK1. So, you know, it's a good trade-off. There are more costumes, or there are costumes in here that I wish were different looking and I wish were better, but nothing in here reminds me too much of 11. Nothing, at least for the base designs, nothing in here reminds me too much of 11. So that's a big bump up for me. And overall, I like it. I like a lot of these character costumes. They're pretty good.
I feel pretty much the same way that you do. And most things, like I said over and over, that I don't care for, I'm probably going to be able to fix with gear or alternates. We're going to be spoiled for choice. Like, none of this stuff, regardless of how high or low I rank it, is like a deal breaker for me. There are cases here where I actually might wind up doing that, you know?
Yeah, like Reiko, for example. I think you're probably looking for some boots or something like that. Maybe
I would appreciate some boots.
Yeah, or maybe like I don't think it's gonna happen. But like a gear piece where he has no pupils. I don't think that's happening. But
it's not. But
yeah,
I can tell you, I don't see a reason to pick another Kenshi outfit other than nostalgia if they give us an old one.
True, and
that's fine.
Same thing for me with Liu Kang. If they give me like a UMK3 Liu Kang or Bruce Lee Liu Kang from MK1, I'm gonna choose that. But I'm fine with sticking with default Liu Kang. I'm fine with sticking with default Raiden. These are some pretty good outfits that I'm just fine the way they are. And Lao too.
All those dudes up there in the S and A tier for me, absolutely 100%. I'm gonna be having a lot of fun with them.
Yep.
And their defaults a lot of the time.
But anyways, that's going to do it for today's video. I appreciate you all for tuning in, and I'm going to let Shad plug himself for where you can find your thoughts and your opinions on things, or where you make your content, or where they can follow you on.
All right, well, you can always check us out on YouTube's on the Netherkast. We are a long form podcast. Sometimes it's just Cyborg delivering his reactions, your typical internet, circle, look at this is what I think of this stuff. And other times it's myself and Cyborg, our main host, and Razor and Temp, and a wide variety of recurring cast members giving 2-hour plus dissertations on things that have shown up, on the new things we've seen, on new characters, everything new that comes out about this game. We've been talking about it last couple months. The hype's been building up. As much of it as old fogies still feel hype. And we're going to be recording a new episode tomorrow. You can find me on Twitter where I do shit posting. And we also, me and Razor and Smokeman have a Patreon where we are currently doing playthroughs. If you tune in now, you can witness me playing Mortal Kombat Mythologies Sub-Zero and hating life. My god.
Everybody would if you had to play that game. But
I
it
think
sucks because it has the best story. Or not the best story, but like it has one of the best stories.
It's such an experience, man. It's such a crucial cornerstone to the MK mythos. And it's got like this really nice music, acting that is absolutely dated but has its charm, and some of the worst fucking gameplay you will ever experience in your life, and terrible AI. It's a fascinating little trash fire of a game. Anyway, come check us out on the Netherkast. Check out our Discord. We're a pretty cool community. And that's about all I got to say. Other than make it a better world, chop your feet off, and have a nice day.
Thank you all so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you all watching. If you enjoyed, make sure you leave a like on this video and subscribe for all things Mortal Kombat. I'll see you guys in the next one.